ring the bell and then start the processional. Thank you. I ordered it. Let me make sure my phone is off. Uh-oh. Yeah. Yes. I'm just going to check with the AV guy, and if the streaming is set, oh, they're ringing the bell, so yeah, we're ready. Hi, Kiki. Good to see you. Hi, William. Good to see you. So, is it all set? All right, we're gonna get started. So just keep an eye on the slides, and then we're gonna process in. Which door should we process in? Probably. Oh, hey, good to see you. How you doing?
Yeah, looking great.
Yeah, very hot. Oh, thank you. Okay. No, I'm here. Yeah, because it's up. And I want. So we're ready. They're gonna start as soon as they start the procession. Thank you. share for me, the one on the clip. So they should start. When they start singing, yeah. Hopefully he'll turn this line to the song.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome, congregation. Welcome, honored guests. Welcome to the Berg family. Tisha, Soshi, Sage. And most of all, welcome Pastor Joshua Berg. We are so pleased to be holding the installation of our settled minister at this time. in this sacred place, Pacific Unitarian Church. We welcome people of all creeds, races, sexual orientations, and gender identities. We gather here on the ancestral land of the Tongva people. We strive to be better stewards of the land we are honored to inhabit. Pastor Joshua will now be joining the proud lineage of the ministers who went before him. As we light this chalice, my wish and radical hope is that we grow together as a people who overcome miscommunications and differences to be able to love, improve, and thrive each year of our journey together. Now, I would like to turn the proceedings over to the Reverend Dr. Megan Visser.
So back in high school, I was never good at geometry. Trapezoids, hypotenuses, protractors eluded me. But one lesson, that x-axis, that horizon line stuck. The horizon I can always remember. The horizontal line joining the ocean and the sky, the warm glow painted across the sky as the sun sinks down. There it is again. As I look out your windows here at Pacific Unitarian, the canyons, the valleys, the buildings and people all connected onward and outward forever to the lasting rubble of the fires, to our city's families afraid to leave home, to the detention center. The x-axis goes on and on across forever, across the hemispheres to Iran and Gaza and the Twin Cities. Each point, each person connected. In weeks and days like this, when we realize again, as we have in other ages and times, there isn't a particular leader coming to save us. There's no parent, no queen or superhero. We are each other's answers. It's us. It's horizontal. It's relationship. That's what we do this morning. And every morning as pastor and church, we draw strength from our lineage, our unbroken line. It's a good thing that we clergy chose theological school over mathematics. For our shared ministries, our x-axis stuff. As congregations, we're learning that horizontal line over and over. We're learning relationship again and again, organizing, threading the vastness out there to the tending of souls in here. Come, let us celebrate this morning with arms outstretched along our parallels. One church as travelers on the same plane. The joy in minister has already met the joy in you. Soul to soul, heart to heart, and hand in hand. Beautiful Pacific Unitarian Church, let's install your pastor.
Please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, This Boat. Thank you. And I'd now, first of all, like to thank our substitute AV person for showing us that life is imperfect and that we welcome that as we grow. Alex Garcia, will you please join us on up here to honor the congregation's past and future? Thank you.
This is just like a little bit of the congregation's, the church's history. Pacific Unitarian Church was born in 1957 under the guidance of Reverend Harry Andrew Shooter, with its first gathering held in Walteria Park in Torrance. In its early years, PUC moved along several locations before settling into its current Rancho Palos Verdes campus in 1965. The first service on this site was an outdoor memorial for President John F. Kennedy, overlooking the canyon and the coast, a moment that set the tone for a congregation shaped by both beauty and moral urgency. Over time, PUC became a spiritual home for Unitarians, Universalists, and religious liberals throughout the South Bay. The mortgage was paid off in 1992, and today we approach our 70th anniversary, grounded in resilience and gratitude for those who built and sustained this community. Throughout its history, PUC has been served by a series of called ministers who help to guide the congregation through growth, challenge, and change, including long tenures and periods of shared ministry. Along its spiritual life, PUC has consistently engaged in social justice work. From civil rights, housing equity, and anti-war activism in the 1950s and 60s, to labor solidarity, environmental advocacy, and refugee support, and groundbreaking legal action in the 1970s, the congregation has shown a willingness to live its values publicly. This commitment continued through the decades with sanctuary support, nuclear disarmament efforts, LGBTQ+ inclusion, racial justice work, and interfaith solidarity, always responding to the moral needs of the time. In the 2000s and 2010s, PUC deepened its justice work locally and globally through environmental action, interfaith partnerships, peacemaking, and disaster relief. The congregation became a UUA-recognized welcoming congregation with a certified green sanctuary, installed solar panels, supported unhoused neighbors, and stood in solidarity with movements for marriage equality, immigrant rights, and food justice. Members marched, traveled, learned, and hosted conversations on some of the most complex issues of our era. Even through the disruptions of the COVID-19 pandemic, PUC continued to adapt, recommitting itself to anti-racism work, multicultural religious education, and renewed outreach. Today, Pacific Unitarian Church is a Unitarian Universalist congregation of about 160 members, governed by an elected board of trustees and led by a called minister. We are rebuilding after the pandemic and a ministerial transition, focused on strengthening both our physical campus and our shared ministries. While we face the same challenges of other religious communities, including the pressures of modern life, we are also experiencing renewed energy, growth, and engagement. New and returning members bring fresh life, while longtime members offer wisdom and care. As we move forward, our continued vitality depends on all of us giving what we can, of our time, talent, and treasure to sustain a community rooted in justice, compassion, and hope. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Tracy Blinder, and in the absence of Reverend Angeline Jackson this morning, I am leading us in the litany of becoming. This is a speak and response, so I look forward to your response. We gather in this threshold moment where history meets hope, where call meets answer.
We bear witness to this holy transition.
For those who came before, ministers who served, members who built, ancestors who dreamed, for the covenants kept and renewed, for love practiced through the generations. For this congregation, grounded in the promises you make to each other, growing toward justice, reaching for beloved community, a living, breathing aspiration made new every day.
Celebrate the ground from which this new ministry grows.
For Pastor Joshua Berg, who has said yes to this call, for the wisdom, the open heart, and the courage it takes to choose these people, this place, and this work. And for this congregation who also says yes, yes to new leadership, yes to partnership, yes to the sacred work of shared ministry. In times when things feel clear and in times when they do not, in seasons of plenty and in seasons of struggle, when you wonder if you are enough, when you feel tired. When the work is joyful and when it is hard, when things make sense and when they do not, in the showing up, in the staying, in the times we stumble and keep going. As change comes, as it always does, as you grow together, stumble together, and learn together, as you choose each other again and again, not because you have to, but because you want to. This is the work of ministry, not to do it alone, but to do it together, to build resilience, to weather conflicts, to strength, to pursue values, the flexibility to evolve. We are all beloved. We are becoming. We begin again together.
Good morning. It is my unique pleasure and honor to bring greetings to each and every one of you who are gathered here, and to those of you who are joining us virtually from Midville Lombard Theological School Board of Trustees, from our faculty, our staff, alums, and friends, and from our broader learning community. Midville Lombard is an institution that has been living out its mission for over 100 years. We believe that the mission is to accompany courageous, compassionate, and caring individuals who have answered a call to serve in a world that needs comfort as well as challenge, and to bring to this world a good word, and to guide us into braver action to build the beloved community. It is indeed a joy for me personally to be here on this January 17th of the year 2026 in celebration of your shared ministry, the ministry of the Pacific Unitarian Universalist Church, and your minister whom you are installing today, the Reverend Joshua Berg. Friends and colleagues, and all of us who bring our best forward to be co-creators of this uniquely covenantal community that is known in the world as the Unitarian Universalist living tradition. I want to share with you some words that I have titled To Be Known as Beloved: Community, Continuity, and Change. The genesis of this sermon took place during a gathering of colleagues in a learning community that has been known as the Prairie Group. The Prairie Group has been gathering in the banks of the confluences of Mississippi, Illinois, and the Missouri River since the year 1951, when four servants of the Deliverer Church, James Luther Adams, Max Gavler, Leslie Pennington, and Thad Clark, seeking to preserve the heritage of the scholarly ministry and to nurture the life of the mind and the spirit among Unitarian clergy serving the stretches of the Midwest Prairie, gathered in a time of study. This community has enjoyed continuity and have also changed over time. During our last gathering this past November, Reverend Luke Stevens Royce, who served the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Rochester, Minnesota, shared with us as a blessing Raymond Carver's poem, Late Fragment. This is a short poetic word that has taken roots in my heart mind and that I want to share with you. I take this poem to be a blessing that consists of two questions with their respective answers, and I hope that they stay with you like they have stayed with me. And did you get what you wanted from this life? Even so, I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved in the earth. So at the center of today's occasion lies a quiet truth that I find well captured in this late fragment. That essential tenderness of being known and being named as beloved. It is the best that we can hope for. To be known as beloved, not because we have earned it, not because what we have achieved some perfection in our labor or faith, or that we have completed the portion of the work that is ours to do, or that we have fulfilled the larger commitment of our faith. No. But to be known as beloved in our fragile humanity, the humanity that we shared at times that are fractious, at times of challenge, but at times that we choose each other again and again because we recognize our shared worth and because that we recognize that it's best to be together. I will not claim that Carver in this brief yet luminous poem was writing any sort of theology. Yet to my mind's heart, he touched its edges, edges that invite us into sacred meaning making. I hear Carver asking us two, perhaps unadorned, but still deeply profound questions. Did you get what you wanted from this life? Did you get it? And what was it that you wanted? His answers to this question, while spare in nature, are saturated with deep existential meaning. And I remind you again that his answer is to be known as beloved, to feel yourself beloved on this here earth, in this community. There is a simplicity in these answers. And I think because of that simplicity, it may be easier to miss that they are a deeper reality going on in here, a deeper answer that is both personal and cosmic in nature. So I want to invite you to come along with me and wade into deeper waters. An installation, it is really a threshold moment. It is a moment in which you celebrate continuity and also the change that has braided you together, within whom you have been as a religious community, as a witness to what is yet unknown of whom you might become. as you live into the prophetic and priestly dimensions of the mission that you claim as your own. And what is your mission? You name your mission as being a welcoming, loving people who gather together to nurture our spirits, to create community, and to work for justice in the world. But you go further because you have shared a vision with those with whom will come to seek you out. And you name who you might become. And in your naming, you name that you will be a welcoming, loving, multi-generational space that will celebrate diversity, that will nourish growth, transformation, and cultural expression. That is, that you will be a place of respite where respect can be expected, where your spirit will be restored. More than a safe space, really a brave space to spark the imagination, to nurture creativity, to foster joy, and to inspire all. You have also claimed and want to tell the world that you will strive to become the kind of collective that is open of mind and open of heart, that is characterized by a people who will listen deeply, inviting, and being inclusive. A community committed to seeking wisdom that express the diversity of today, but also with an ear towards lessons still to be learned and applied. A community of students, a community of teachers, a community of dreamers and of doers with youthful spirits. And this will be possible because the shared commitment to one another's flourishment, your true selves. It is because of this that you also hope to become the co-creators of an equitable world, a world of dynamically moving from ideas into actions, a world that models what resistance and resilience is for a world that needs to be healed and made whole. And I want to read that again. You are committing to becoming a model of resistance, a model of resilience for a world that, yes, it needs to be healed, and a world that needs to be made whole, a world of abundance where all, not some, where we can all have access to peace, where we can all, but not some, enjoy freedom, when we all have an opportunity to thrive. This can happen when we are accountable caretakers that respect and honor our interconnections, because it is precious, now and forever. To me, this is a vision that is grounded in love, kindness, generosity, and most importantly, trust. Trust that our collective UU values matter. That is to say that in this day, to be known and to be called as beloved and to be loved by the earth is to center what we stand for. You have called a minister into your midst, not to lead you forward to some fixed destination, but to a journey that will be unfolding together as a shared call. In Unitarian Universalist life, it is good to be reminded and be reminded often that ministry is never one direction. It is not a one-way street. Ministry is mutuality. It is mutual. It is co-created and held in covenant rather than in contract. So when things may get a little tough at times, remember that. This is not a contract, but a covenant of being in shared ministry. It is a covenant that is living among partners with one mission. We often speak of shared ministry, and this phrase signals something more expansive than delegation or collaboration or the stipulations that may be detailed in a contract, in bullet points or long paragraphs, I don't know. Shared ministry is a living expression of what does it mean to be a church, of ecclesiology. And what is an ecclesiology, you may ask? Well, for me, our sacred understanding of what makes a congregation a church, that is ecclesiology. And I know that within our cultural context of Unitarian Universalism, both of these words, congregations and churches, carry deep load, deep meaning, cultural questions, history, affirmations, denial, strife, and so on and so forth. But I want you to leave that aside. I want you to think about being a congregation, being a church, living into an ecclesiology that is being called out into something as a way that is a distinction made by practice. That is the way in which you know your being and how you intentionally choose to act and be present in the world. And thus I say to you that in our ways of being an ecclesia, the being a church, it is not defined by creeds or authority or structures, but by those relationships that are sustained through covenantal promises. Those promises that we make to each other when we look at each other's eyes, that regarding each other in our full dignity and self-worth, when we promise that we will stay at the table, not only to speak, but to listen. And not merely to listen to what is being said, but to listen with the intent to enter into discernment. That is to wrestle and to imagine what love will look like in our community. That is to be known as the beloved and then love the world. In the continuity of our tradition, we are inheritors of the Unitarian Universalist, the Unitarian theologian James Adams' understanding that church is the place where we practice being human. Church is the place where we practice to be human. But I wish to clarify something. I take Adams to mean that we practice with and alongside each other, not on each other. Okay? You understand the distinction, right? We practice with each other, not on each other. And that is how we can come to know what is truly at the center of being grounded in love and guided by covenants of care and mutuality. Our ecclesiology, that is our way of being church, are fluid and participatory. They take as a starting point this radical trust that each one of us carry a portion of wisdom, insight, and a divine spark. That trust means that we will share in this work together as leaders, as ministers, as lay leaders, because each one of us have a portion of this work to carry forward. It is in this sense that our work together, it is not an architecture, but it is a choreography. It is how we move, how we hold one another in this dance of becoming and belonging. And he's asked us, how do we embody the sacred community when our shared and living theology insists that revelation is not sealed, that truth will continually unfold, and that love must be enacted anew? It asks us, how do we make ready today to welcome those who are yet not here, but whom in seeing the light of our chalice will seek a harbor in our midst? As UU congregations, we do not possess nor claim a single tradition. Instead, we curate a living one. We curate tradition that honors continuity without fearing revision. We curate a community that bless us with the ability to change our heart and our minds because we're open to growing together. So when ecclesiology asks of us, what is a church and what holds us together and what is it for? I think that our answer should be something like this: that we are committed to one another and that we will organize ourselves by covenant, a covenant that is freely chosen to enter in because we promise to one another that we want to journey together. Beliefs are not required. Instead, a commitment that our covenants, made, renewed, broken, and repaired, not only bind us together to one another in love, but it will shape how we gather, how we worship, how decisions are made, and how are we inclusive of one another. And in doing so, we will uphold a living tradition that is not centered on creeds or sacraments or hierarchy, but instead, we are choosing a way of being in shared ministry that practice covenant, democratic process, the ethical and spiritual practices that will sustain us and will guide us to be known as, you can say it, beloved. Thank you. And what does it mean to be beloved in this context of shared ministry? It means daring to let ourselves be truly seen, not as idealized versions of church members, ministers, and leaders. That is honestly too simple. But in our whole selves, with those areas in which we are imperfect as well as our radiance. It means learning to perceive the divine spark in each one of us precisely when our differences challenge our comfort. It means the commitment of cultivating spaces where belonging is not conditional on agreement, but grounded on recognition. Shared ministry invites us to practice the ministry of recognition, seeing each of us as bearers of sacred worth. In a world that often measures our values by productivity, the simple act of being known and being held in love may be an act of revolution in itself. Every installation like this is a service that affirms that continuity is not static, it's dynamic, rhythmic, like the breath that we take. Ministries begin, evolve, and bless communities beyond their tenure. Each leader who chooses to serve and who you call into service offers a verse in the long poem of your congregational life. It is a strand in your tapestry of faith. And when a new minister is called, it is not to overwrite verses already written, but to listen, to join a song in progress, to help the community attune again to a central melody. That is to do our part to help give the world the shape of justice. At Minville Lombard Theological School, and as our UU heritage affirms, shared ministry can never be abstract. It is the spiritual practice of building relationships that withstand change. It is what keeps us tethered to hope as we navigate the shifting terrain of the present. It is our shared common commitment to justice, compassion, and mutual care that made our being a living community, an ongoing experiment of the pluralism that can hold us together in one body. So as we stand in this moment of installation, a moment that is both a declaration and an invitation, I charge you to remember this. Your ministry together will be known not only by your programs or the sermons that are being preached out of here, but by the quality of your presence to one another and to the community you choose to serve. But by being a community where continuity does not mean rigidity, where change does not fracture connection, and where each of you, in your quietest moment, can say with Carver, Yes, I was known as beloved in this earth and in this community. May you share in this ministry of unfolding that is belovedness. May it be vibrant, even if unfinished, but always faithful to the work of that love called us to do. May it be so. And now I live with you this longer blessing. May this covenantal community remember in seasons of joy and of strain that its truest calling is to be known as beloved. May you, the gather here, and your minister together practice a church that is living relationship, a choreography of listen, truth-telling, and care that makes the justice that centers love possible and visible in the world. May your shared ministry be one that honors continuity, but remember the stories that brought you here. And remembering you also welcome change by trusting new stories, new people, new questions as gifts and not as threats. May in times of conflict you be courageous, always tender in forgiveness and mending covenants, and still steadfast in showing up for one another, so that no one in your midst can ever doubt that they are worthy of regard, that their presence is a blessing. And may you, in those quiet moments, be able to say, in this here place, among these people, among the ministry that we share, we have known each other as beloved. Amen.
Please remain seated for our meditative hymn, There Is a Love.
Good morning. My name is Lisa Seitz. I represent the Pledge Drive. So we're always here asking not for your time or your talent, but your treasure. So today we have a great reputation for getting people to give. So hopefully you will feel generous and help us to keep that reputation. It is tradition for the offering and installments to go to the UUA Living Tradition Fund, which provides support for ministers, theological students, religious professionals, congregational staff, and their loved ones. PacificUnitarian.org. Donate. Thank you.
Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. I stepped into the water and the water was cold. God's gonna trouble the water. It chilled my body, but it soothed my soul. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. I went to the water one day to pray. God's gonna trouble the water. My soul got so happy that I stayed all day. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. I dip my head in the water, the source of all. God's gonna trouble the water. There I found myself when I heard the call. God's gonna trouble the water. In the water. In the water you find joy, you find strength, you find peace. In the water you find forgiveness, you find healing. In the water you find liberty, compassion. Yes. In the water you find joy, you find joy. Here we go. You find joy in the water. Oh, yeah. In the water. In the water. In the water. You find joy. You find peace. In the water, you find joy, you find peace. Oh yes, in the water, yes, in the water, in the water, you find joy, you find peace, you find love. Yeah, yes, in the water. In the water, in the water.
Good morning. I'm Melissa Garcia, the Board of Trustees President. In our congregational tradition, no right is more precious than choosing our own minister, and no responsibility more sacred. Likewise, ministers are free to accept a call in discernment and trust. As president of the Board of Trustees, it is with pride, gratitude, hope, and love that we affirm the covenant now blossoming between the people of Pacific Unitarian Universalist Church and Pastor Joshua Berg.
We have freely chosen one another to lead and to follow by turns. And this service, it marks our commitment, our mutual commitment to that abiding bond.
We recognize this moment as the beginning of a shared ministry. We welcome you among us and offer you a free pulpit to speak the truth in freedom and love.
Ready?
We Yes, you are. We ask that you lead us into deeper understanding of our Unitarian Universalist faith in word and in example, and that you teach and counsel our youth. And we ask that you accompany us in joy and in sorrow. Are you willing to accept these obligations?
I am willing, in partnership with all of you.
Congregation? And all of our congregants, can you please read along? We affirm that the work of this church belongs to us all. It is our duty, privilege, and joy to be active and present. We offer you the gifts of our minds, the labor of our bodies, and the love of our hearts. We pledge our time, energy, and resources in support of our shared vision. We promise honesty in communication, care for your well-being, and responsibility for your ministry among us. We ask you to be patient with our failures and encouraging of our efforts. Strive to offer you the same grace. We cherish this community and its power to form friendships, inspire creativity, nurture all ages, and bring comfort and courage to the wider world. Having spoken our promises and our love for this congregation, we entrust its ministry to you. Pastor Joshua Berg, confident that you share our feelings and will do all in your power to advance our cause.
Mindful of the privilege and responsibility of this calling, I pledge my sincere efforts to you. I will listen with an open heart, I will speak with integrity, and I will support your growth according to our mission and our vision. I will help this congregation live into its mission, to celebrate its joys and to hold its sorrows. I will seek accountability for my ministry, and I will offer my gifts in service of the common good. Together, we will listen to voices within and beyond these walls, to those who came before us as we work for healing in the wider world. I bring my commitment to anti-racism, to decolonization, and the work of repair, justice, and transformation. In all of this, I look forward to the opportunity to know you even better and more deeply.
We have chosen you, Pastor Joshua Berg, to be the minister of our church. We pledge to journey with you in truth, service, justice, and spiritual deepening. Will you accept the responsibility of leadership?
With joy and humility and gratitude, I accept this ministry to which you have called me. May we continue learning and loving and serving together. guided by the Spirit of life.
We celebrate this calling and this ministry. May this congregation continue to live its mission for many years to come, to seek truth with open minds, to love without exception, and to act with courage for the common good. Pastor Joshua, preach from your heart, speak the truth as you see it. Lead us in the living our mission with compassion and curiosity. Receive this as a gift of our symbol of our covenant, that together we will rejoice and struggle, listen and learn, grieve and grow.
Thank you.
My pleasure. These are ocean waves.
Ocean waves. And we have rebranded our event space as
Ocean Canyon.
By the way.
By the authority of this congregation, we hereby install you, Pastor Joshua Berg, as our settled minister of Pacific Unitarian Universalist Church.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's my honor. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It is an honor to be asked to give the charge to shared ministry. And partly the reason it's an honor is because it means a beloved colleague trusts me enough to come up here and give you a few minutes of pointed, uninterrupted advice. Now, was that a good gig or what? Thank you.
Of course.
Pastor Joshua and Pacific Unitarian Church, you are entering into your shared ministry during a perilous time in our world. And there may never be a perfect time to begin ministry. And Pastor Josh, if you in part this week were thinking to yourself, why in the world did I decide to do this now? I don't think many of us would kind of disagree or blame you for thinking that. But with so much at stake, this is exactly the time for you to start on this shared ministry, to have a strong moral voice in the community, and together to build a strong, sustainable congregation and institution that is known as Pacific Unitarian. Your day-to-day shared ministry consists of so many tasks. You are caring for this beautiful campus, recently rebranded. You're raising money for mission, for ministry, for maintenance. You're overseeing staff. You're managing volunteers. You're raising your prophetic voice. And oh yeah, every week you're doing amazing worship services, offering spiritual care and faith formation for all ages. It's a lot. There will always be more hours in the day than the number of volunteers you can recruit, than the staffing hours you can pay for, than there is money provided for in the budget. In the midst of everything, in the midst of so much, my charge to you and this beautiful and loving congregation, it's really simple. To put your relationship at the center of everything you do. My biggest hope for your ministry here is that you, Joshua, love your people and this place with all of your pastor's heart. And it's big. And that they, in turn, love you right back. And that some of the ways they're going to show you that love is through generous pay. And we already heard that you all know how to raise money here. To show you that love through work hours that are sensible and goals that are somewhere within the realm of reality. The world moves fast. Justice work is always urgent. You will constantly be pulled in way too many directions. To put your ministry relationship at the center and to nurture that incredible relationship between pastor and congregation that doesn't exist in any other institution. Do these 3 things. 1, when you notice that there is a drive to make a decision quickly, slow down. And as you're slowing down, pay attention to the whole and holy person in front of you. And number 2, when you forget to slow down, apologize for those words that were too hastily said right there in the heat of the moment. And remember, you are all in this together. And 3, and I think you've got this one, celebrate. Yes, celebrate your wins, the big ones and the little ones. Celebrate this beautiful campus, the incredible people you have in your circle of care, and celebrate the fact that you are the ones that have been brought together for these people, this place, and this particular time in the world. Our world needs you all. May your shared ministry flourish and soar just as beautifully and as high as those birds that have been circling this celebration of shared ministry. My blessings to you.
Let us do it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Buongiorno. Shalom. My name's Tom Rosenberg, and I'm honored to be here representing the South Coast Interfaith Council, where I serve as president. From the first moment that I met him and heard him speak, I became a huge fan, I have to admit. And the first moment I stepped foot here, I felt this incredible warmth. So on behalf of the interfaith community, our congratulations. On behalf of all the congregations, our civic and faith partners, and our shared commitment to the common good. Thank you, Pacific Unitarian, for welcoming me into this sacred moment, this incredibly inspiring moment. In my tradition, an installation is more than a ceremony. It's a mutual promise. You heard Dr. Ortega talk about covenant. It's a public commitment that minister and congregation walk together through seasons of joy and seasons of challenge, grounded in shared values, shared responsibilities, and shared hope. It's a reminder that spiritual leadership is not a solo endeavor, but a covenant carried by a whole community. Pastor Joshua, at our Unity Awards dinner, you spoke about kindling unity, about the flame you light as more than ritual, and as a spiritual practice rooted in courage and solidarity. That resonates so strongly in interfaith work because it names something that many of our traditions hold in their own way, that in times of fracture, our job is to increase the light through truth, through the mercy, through justice, through everyday work, the everyday work of just showing up for one another. In the interfaith community, we don't pretend to believe the same things. We don't come together because our ideologies perfectly match. We come together because we recognize that shared moral obligation to protect the vulnerable, to repair what's broken, tikkun olam, to resist hatred, scapegoating, and to build communities where human dignity is not just spoken, but practiced.
So today from the South Coast Interfaith Council, I offer this blessing. May your ministry here kindle light, light that does not deny pain or complexity, but refuses to surrender to despair. May this congregation be a sanctuary in the deepest sense, a place where people are welcomed as they are, where the grieving are not rushed, where questions are not punished, and where people leave not only comforted but strengthened, more ready to live with courage and generosity. May your leadership and this congregation's shared ministry be guided by love made practical. The kind of love that it listens well, tells the truth with compassion, and turns outward to serve. May it be visible in the partnerships you build, the neighbors you stand with, the justice you pursue, and the hope you make credible through action. And when the work is hard, and it inevitably will be, may you remember that you do not carry it alone. May you feel the strength of a wider circle of colleagues, congregations, and friends across faiths and philosophies committed to solidarity and to the common good. So, Pastor Joshua, Pacific Unitarian, congratulations, blessings, and gratitude. May the light you kindle here spread into homes and schools and civic life, to the hearts that need hope. In our tradition, we say, Kenihi Ratzon, may it be so. Amen.
Thank you, thank you. Please rise and bow your spirit as you are able for our closing hymn, This Little Light of Mine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. It's gonna shine, gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. It's gonna shine, it's gonna shine, it's going to shine.
You notice they turn my mic off when we sing the hymns. Please be seated. Thank you. So, a Jew, an atheist, and a Unitarian Universalist. walk into a church. And here I still am, a year and a half later. Thank you. And I hope to be here for many years to come. My presence here, with my multiple identities, represents our Unitarian Universalist faith. And it represents how we move forward. We welcome all identities who share our values and who commit to living those values. And shameless plug, I'm preaching on identity if you're here tomorrow morning as well. And the Edict of Torta, bonus. All right. We gather in places like this sanctuary. We gather in places like this sanctuary, spaces that give us a firm foundation and that have strong walls, and yet, if you look that way, remain open to the wider world, to its beauty and to its pain, to its ache and to its possibilities. We are, as Dr. Ortega said, curators. We curate. And a curate in the religious sense is a tender of meaning. It's a steward of spirit. It's a guide. We are guides for one another along the way. And we are also curators in the oldest sense of the word, from the Latin cura, which means care. Care for ourselves, care for one another, and care for our fragile, interdependent web of life. We do and we must curate our lives and our communities with courage instead of fear. We must curate our lives and our communities with curiosity instead of certainty. We must curate our lives and our communities with responsive love instead of reactionary hate and fear. I began this benediction with a little humor, and we continue it with celebration. And yes, especially this week, humor and celebration may feel inappropriate, but I will never surrender my joy to anyone. I'll never surrender my joy. I learned that from my very wise wife. And as your minister, I will tirelessly work so that no one steals our capacity to sing and to bless and to laugh and to dance and to celebrate, to love this life into being, beloveds. At Pacific Unitarian Church, we end every service with the same benediction. It's a blessing that sends us back into the world. I love it. Sends us back into the world curious and courageous and caring. And I'd like to share it with those of you who haven't heard it and with those who have heard it. Join along. Can I ask you, Dr. Ortega, to help me with this? We'll conclude this, the longest benediction in Unitarian Universalist history. If you could just read this first paragraph, or this first, right before it says pause.
Excellent. This beloved community is dedicated to the proposition that within all our differences, in all our diversity, there is unity that makes us one. A bond that holds us together in spite of time and death and the space between the stars, and we rise in silent witness to that unity.
Please rise in body or spirit. As you are able, grab each other's hands if you are willing and able. Thank you, Dr. Ortega. May the blessings of love be upon you. Chloe, you know this one. Yes. May love's peace abide with you, and love's presence illuminate your hearts, now and forevermore. So be it. Amen. Ashe. Shalom. Salam. Namaste. And blessed be. And now our service truly begins. You may be seated. Please stay for the postlude, Bright Morning Stars. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone who contributed to this service. We're all listed in the back here, so I'm not going to go through, but I'm so grateful.
Just put it on a big pile on the separate.
Right, I don't know, yeah. Well, you know what, if I'm gonna do that at least, you know, like at least that. Yeah. You're doing it this way. No, we're taking the whole bundle.
Just all the ones we did today.
Everything we did today, what is